Yeah, this is well put together FD 93 silver with red interior. It's nice. Hi, welcome to the channel, Scott's Garage HTX. Don't forget the HTX. Today is a day of 1,000 things to do. One, I want to put on the air dam that goes on the front of the 68 Camaro. That's all busted up. This has been sitting in my garage for 2 months. It's about time I got it done. Some of the other things. Remember last episode I put that carbon fiber hood on the RX7. Didn't come with the washer fluid nozzles. And I wasn't going to take mine off my original hood. They're red anyway. Anyway, I went out to Atkins Rotary and picked up these right here. They're the original part number RX7 washer fluid nozzles. Now, I don't think there's any attachments underneath the carbon fiber hood to, attach the hoses and all this stuff together. There are holes for the nozzles themselves, but I don't think the placement of the lines to them are actually there. So I took something like this, which I think is some kind of clamp or something to hold either spark plug wires or some kind of tubing, and I retrofitted this to look like this, and that is what I'm going to use, probably epoxy it to the underside of the hood itself. Another thing I want to do, well, small little deal right here, the hood latch catch on the car is broken, so I'll just replace that. That's not a big deal. One of the big deals is I'm getting rock chips on the fender wells of the RX-7. Lots of them, actually. And I don't know if it's just bad paint. I don't know if it's original paint. I'm not sure. I don't care. But basically, when you put those wide tires on there, I did when I put the HREs on there, I'm getting rock chips around the fender well flares. So I went out and I got one of these, or front and rear original splash guards or mud guards. I would love to put PPF on these, but a Scott tip for you, these are plastic and they're textures and plastic sweats. You can't put PPF on plastic. I could paint it and gloss it and professionally done, and then I could put PPF on it, but I'm probably not going to go as far as to do that. I'm just going to put these on. They come with their own clips. I went out to an RX-7 that's out there in the dealership, not the dealership that wanted to drill a hole in my hood, but dealership West. And they have these on there on a silver 93 RX-7. I took some pictures of how they did it. It looks good. I just needed some tips on how to do it, so hopefully it looks a lot like what they did. Let's just get started. All right, easy enough. See how hard it is to put the new one in. This is a little bit up close, but it's in there. It's a bit fiddly actually, because I don't know why actually. It just was. Who knows? Maybe it's just a cheap plastic deal. I'm glad I didn't get the carbon fiber one, because if the carbon fiber one, which does not like to bend, like plastic will allow you to bend it, it would have never gone on if those holes just didn't seem to line up the way they should have. So I'm glad I didn't spend $300 on a carbon fiber one. For the washer nozzles on the RX-7, this is my setup. I have my nozzle for the passenger side, connector to a 90 degree, to a connector, to a T. Here's the driver's side, connector to it, and then a connector to the other side of it, all the way down to the junction that goes into the washer motor itself. Shouldn't be a big deal. I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to JB plastic weld these brackets that I've made onto the bottom of the hood where I want them first and let them cure. It takes 5 minutes to set and they say an hour to cure. So I'm going to just start with that and move on to the other pieces. This shouldn't really take that long. My brackets, they seem to be on there pretty good. I'm kind of happy with that. The nozzles are on. Now I think it's just a matter of connecting the dots, or connecting the hoses actually. Should be no big deal. Okay, now let's see if it works. I swear I think I just washed the back of the garage door. But it does work. Maybe a little bit of adjustment. After adjusting the nozzle just a little bit, see if we got any better. And what do you know? It works. Perfect. On to the next thing. As far as I can tell, to put these splash guards on behind the fenders, and since I never really read directions anyway, that's never gotten me in a bind, as far as you know. All you need to do is take off this 8mm bolt. The kit comes plumbed with these little square fasteners. I don't know if that's blurry or not, but and the manufacturer's already squared out or had these things plumbed for you underneath the fender. So it's a matter of just plugging these in, putting the piece up underneath there, and taking this little adhesive strip right here out and pressing against the body. One thing I am going to do is I am going to take some rubbing alcohol, get any kind of grease or wax or whatever that might be on that part of the fender and clean that off. That way I can get a clear adhesion on there. Let's start. Now I noticed in the kit they provide 3 of these squares and 3 of these screws for each side, but remember this already came with a fender liner and this 8mm screw. So here, and these are marked also, right hand and front. Make sure I accidentally tried to measure this up with the rear ones on. Of course, it didn't even come close to fitting. So let's start with this one and see if we can get that aligned. I'm trying to do this without taking the wheel off. That's because I'm lazy. I'm going to get this snug, but not too tight. Okay, and screws, push, push, push. I'll get the farthest one first. Hopefully that's aligned as well, because I can't see underneath there. Oh, it is perfectly. That's nice. Hey, what do you think of the color match? I think it's almost perfect. Now, I've got older eyes, so maybe some of the young guys can see a difference. All right, now you're just supposed to pull these tabs and pull that adhesive off slowly. There you go. And press. That is far the easiest thing I've done all day. Everything else has tried to kick me in the butt. Now the rear splash guards are a little different actually. There's 3 different grommets and fasteners for each hole. So as far as I can tell, and you have to use a different screw or the correct screw for each fastener from what I can tell. I'm gonna go from behind and get that rear screw in. Been easier for me to, that's fine. There we go, those are tight. And again, before our camera, I washed down this with a little bit of my rubbing alcohol again and just pull this off and press. Again, not too bad, not too shabby. I like it. I think the color match on it is actually, I'm flabbergasted that that paint actually matches. Well, that's all I have today. Everything looks great and is functional. I actually think these splash guards make this car look a little bit lower. Friday, we take the Trans Am to Circuit of Americas for Radwood in Austin. I hope I see somebody there. Thanks. How do you think that was? Okay.